Here we go. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to other Community Connections. Super excited to have my friend and colleague, CEO of Perimeter Roofing, Todd Price, with us today. Todd, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Todd had to bear with my technological glitches when my computer restarted, so he's been patient, and so glad you're here, Todd. And tell us, I know when I say CEO of Perimeter Roofing, we've talked before. It takes your team. You have an amazing, amazing team. We want to cover some of the stuff. You got so many things you do, but I know not a lot of people. A lot of people know a lot about you, but we're going to be getting this to people across the country. So Perimeter Roofing, y'all are in Atlanta, but you're in Nashville and other places. You guys are all over the place, right?
Yeah, we originally started in Virginia and then in Lynchburg. Came back down to Georgia. And we have 5 offices here now, and then just opened one in Nashville about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I have two main partners, Lance Knowles and Ray Little. They help with daily operations. I'm more in the office, behind the scenes, marketing, everything else. Ray's kind of out in the field a lot more and helping, and Lance oversees all the crews. But then with each market, we have a different market partner that is an owner, that as they grow and become better and more successful, we give them ownership and open a market for them wherever they may be, whether it's in the state, out of the state, whatever. So the most recent one is Jay Carver, who wanted to move to Nashville, open one in Nashville. So we relocated him. He had been with us for a while, is on point, super, super sharp young man. I think he's 24, 25. He looks like he's 18. But super, super successful young man. And so we opened the market for him up there, and he's killing it.
Dude, that's awesome. I remember when you came on my Marketing Matters radio show, we talked about your business model, which I think is so smart because, when you have, want to be entrepreneurs or salespeople, marketing people, letting them be invested in these communities when they're ready is so key.
100%.
And
100%.
Todd, you and I were laughing. It's during these times when people are always talking about entrepreneurship. Even what was a couple of 2-3 months ago, we were laughing on air about everybody wants to be their own boss until times get tough. And when I say tough, challenging, and there's obstacles in the way. And then they're like, man, I'm sure glad I have XYZ job with guarantees. And I know you and me, we're always been thinking about those kind of things, but I sure see a lot of people right content playing it safe right now.
Yeah, 100%. And trust me, I used to say the same thing, and I hear it all the time. And I'm just a true bred entrepreneur, in and out, and I love it. But there's those days where I wish that I got off at 4 or 5 and that was just it, and I didn't have to worry about anything else. But I make it work, and I love helping people, and I love creating things from the ground up, no matter what it is. And I think that's the difference. And when you have those people that work with you and work for you, that want to be a part of that, keeping them, holding that away from them is not a way to go. And I think there's way too many businesses that don't offer that opportunity. And in reality, when you have people like that, they're either going to go somewhere else or they're going to become a partner. So
that's right.
You gotta make them a partner and grow them and mold them, and be a little, there's too much greed in the world. Be a little less greedy and help people out. That's what life's all about.
So. No, and you're right. I would go back and tell younger Ryan that very, very lesson. And sometimes you can do so much more if you just take a piece and spread it wide. I mean, you guys got so much stuff. You and I were talking, Todd, before we went on air, and I want to come back to Perimeter Cares as well, which I want to make sure we highlight. But last night, we talked about business, and we don't need the government to tell us everything to do, and just do the next right thing is what I would say, right? It's like Frozen 2 I watched for my kids. Just do the next right thing. I mean, you may be wrong, but it's in your heart, you're doing the right thing. I saw, and we shared it. You tell us about the young boy and what he wanted, and I'm going to butcher it. So you tell the story, and then what the community rallied around to do for him.
So obviously everybody knows about the whole coronavirus thing going on right now, and that there's a lockdown and this and that and whatever. And so there's a young boy that yesterday turned 6. His name's Honor, and was turning 6 years old. And because of all this, couldn't go out, couldn't have a birthday party, couldn't do the things that he wanted to do. And he loves monster trucks. That's his thing. He loves monster trucks. So I was actually tagged on Facebook by a neighbor of his that said that they were looking to get a monster truck just to drive by and honk the horn. That he would be outside, drive by, honk the horn. And I thought, how cool would this be if we could get this kid a whole parade of just cool trucks, cars, Jeeps, whatever. And so I made a post. The neighbor had made a post, and I went live on Facebook asking for some help, and sent out the location, and wasn't real sure about, how many people were going to show up, if anybody would show up, if it was just going to be me driving by and honking and hanging out with the kid or what. But we did pick him out. We bought him a little monster truck toy, and then on the way up there, pulling into the school, there's already like 20 Jeeps lined up.
Wow.
And so I get there and I hop out of the truck, and then here comes more Jeeps, and then here comes more trucks and more trucks. And so we probably had about 10 trucks there from Perimeter Roofing. But total, there was probably about 30 Jeeps and maybe 20 to 30 jacked up trucks, and then even a couple of sports cars and stuff, which was cool. And so I did a Facebook Live the whole time, and the school that we pulled into was right next door to his neighborhood. And so we pulled in the neighborhood, and everybody's hitting train horns, honking their horn, revving their motors, and we're driving down, and this kid's out in his driveway, and he's just ecstatic and jumping up and down, and he's right by a cul-de-sac. So we turned around in the cul-de-sac and did a parade, and, turned around and came right back out. And I was the very last one. And so I stopped and talked to him for a minute on Facebook Live, and the expression on his face and everything, it was just, it kind of made me a little bit emotional, just because of the fact that, thinking about my kids and thinking about, here's this 6-year-old boy that can't get out of the house and can't have the birthday party that he wants and deserves. And seeing everybody jump on board to help this kid and take time out of their day that they didn't have to do, but they know that this is more important. So I thought that was super cool. And then pulling out of the neighborhood after talking to them, everybody's in their yards, kids, adults, elderly people, and everybody's hitting train horns. I remember there was an old guy, as I was pulling out, he said, hit the horn, he was yelling at me. And, so it was cool to see. The neighborhood was just filled up and telling the kid happy birthday. So it was very cool. Happy birthday honor. It was super cool to see.
Yeah, we'll have a video link in the next day or so of this we can share out. So we'll make sure they get to see it. I just applaud you and everybody came out, Todd. Yeah, that's why I created this community connections show. It came from an idea. People want to tell these positive stories in addition to, our magazines and this and that, but these stories are happening every day. And I started thinking, I think we were about 12, 15 interviews in. I haven't even posted them all. And I continue to hear just tremendous things like this. And we need that. We need the encouragement. We're going to get to the other side of all this. And I'd hope what we learn is how much we enjoy our relationships with each other, and how important the human element is. I know, because I do want to make sure we mention, even though schools are out, I told you my wife's a teacher, and we're working hard at digital learning, and she's doing a heck of a job. I think she's been thrown, as are all educators and all students and everybody. But tell us just real quick, you can just, because I know you're going to get back to it as soon as schools get back open, but right now, Perimeter Cares, the 501c3 that you guys have, I think I got that right.
Mm-hmm.
Just what the gist is, and that just shows the heart of Perimeter Roofing and you and your leadership team, of just the gist of what you guys are doing.
So basically, we go to 1 or 2 or 3 schools just based on scheduling and what they allow. But the goal is to knock out lunch debt across Georgia. So we're trying to hit every school in the state, every elementary school in the state of Georgia, and then move on from there. But basically every week we go to 1 or 2 schools. We pay off their entire lunch debt to where they start from a clean slate. If anybody's not familiar with the lunch debt, because before I started this, I wasn't really familiar with it and wasn't sure. I just thought, well, our taxes pay for it or this or that, and it's not the case at all. So children, when they go through the lunch line, if they don't have money on their account to pay for their lunch, they're allowed a week's worth of lunches to go into quote unquote debt, which comes out to be, I think, $11.25 for a week of one kid. So once they hit that, they can't get lunch anymore. So even if they've already made a lunch and get up the line, they have a debt, that lunch gets thrown away and they get a cold lunch, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a glass of water or something. So it bothers me because, it's not the kid's fault, no matter what's going on. It's not the child's fault. But two, it also, in a day and age where, we're so against bullying and all this other stuff, which I agree with, but you just pointed out that child to be bullied, to separate them from the rest of the class, to show that they don't have the money, or that they don't have, or if it was my child, I probably just forgot because, I forgot to reload their cart. No big deal. But it sets them apart. And, I just don't agree with that. So, anything that we can do to help those kids that are going through those hard times, I just don't like it. I got a real big soft spot for kids. And anytime they're going through something, we definitely want to help out.
Well, that's again, Todd, that's just your team's just, this has been amazing to watch, but that's Perimeter Cares and, perimeterroofing.com, right? Perimeterroofing.com. So where all your social handles and whatever, I'll make sure I always say that. So the best around. And, like he and I were talking the last time we were there, they sometimes come somewhere and just do something and fix it and say, hey, you know what? Because it's doing the next right thing and not trying to, same thing way I operate, not trying to get the next dollar from somebody. Just people remember. And I think, Todd, I think you would agree, during these times when times are tough in particular for many people, it's the people that are doing the behind the scenes stuff and being leaders in the community and not just hiding out that are going to be remembered, right? When it's easy and everybody's at the top, it's easy to forget. But when things are difficult, like you put together last night, people came out and rallied around it and they needed that.
100%. And, I think the biggest thing is a lot of people tend to, some people will call them sheep, or some people, whatever term you want to use, which just a lot of people tend to go with the flow and whatever they're told to do. And so, when before all this coronavirus stuff hit, and it was just, we go to work every day, we work 9 to 5, and then we come back home, and then we go to work the next day. It was kind of a habit, a pattern. And then now that this hit, it's like a lot of people take it as an excuse to be lazy or to do this or to do that, versus, instead of just dwelling on, and this goes for anything in life, instead of just dwelling on the problem, let's find the solution. Let's not just sit back and dwell on the problem. Let's find the solution and keep it moving, whether it's work related, whether it's fitness related, whether it's, what this honors birthday, whatever the thing might be. There's always a way around it, and there's always a way to make something happen. And it's just a matter of thinking outside the box and finding those things and really buckling down and focusing on your goals, or what the end goal may be, and how to get there. Because in life, you're going to hit detours or roadblocks or whatever you want to call them. You're going to hit them all the time. So that doesn't mean turn around and go back home, or that doesn't mean stop going for your goal or whatever. It just means you got to reroute. Siri tells me all the time, we're rerouting.
Rerouting.
So that's kind of what you have to figure out, and just stick to your guns and know that you're going to make it, and keep pushing forward. So.
Well, I love that. And, I had something I used to say forever. So, behind every obstacle lies an opportunity, or behind every problem lies a solution. And, I know you're the same way, man. I've got more things I'm working on and putting together behind the scenes. I feel like, this is my full-time job, doing community connections things. I'm playing, but I'm having fun, bringing these good stories out in the community. And I'm just continuing to get to stuff, or get to things that I had put off. And I think as we kind of come to the close, you and I have always been talking about, forget all the excuses, however we say it, forget all the excuses. But now more than ever, many people have time on their hands. And what do you do with this precious gift? So if it's your business, instead of just standing around going, oh man, the world's coming to an end, what are you going to do differently? And I mean, we'll probably keep this show I'm doing going on forever now, because it's been a way, this completely different format to bring in leaders or whatever, and it's easy to do. So a quote unquote negative becomes a positive that we continue to do. And there'll be other things. I was just talking to a pastor the other day. They were talking about how the food banks have been hit really hard. So you don't need the government to tell you to go give some food to, if you can, to a co-op, or help a neighbor if they can't get out. I mean, just do the right thing, and sometimes I think, it's like leadership 101, Todd. It's like people are just waiting to be told what tasks to do, or the government didn't say it's okay to do this. Well, take a chance, swing the bat. I mean,
Sure.
it's all right.
Sure. And to touch base on that, like it's funny to me that people have always asked for, they're kind of getting what they've always wished for. People want more free time. Now they have it, and they complain about it, and it's like, use that time to do other things and to enjoy your family, or to catch up on a movie, or to whatever it is, you read a book, whatever your thing is, use that time. And you know I don't agree with being told what to do. I don't always follow the rules. I break the rules sometimes. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I do what I think is right. I know, quote unquote, it was illegal for us to go out last night, but that's fine. I'm going to go help this little boy. And I think that's the way more people need to be, and appreciate what they're given, and focus on the bigger picture versus using it as an excuse to kind of get out of their dreams, or get out of their goals, or whatever it may be. So,
Yeah.
it's even with some of my guys that have, been concerned about this, and been concerned as, if we're doing a roof in a neighborhood and they're concerned about knocking on the neighbors' doors. I'm like, everybody's outside right now, planting flowers, or playing with their kids in the street. Or this is what we've always wanted, to where you can just walk down the street and just, hey neighbor, and you're talking to everybody. You don't have to worry about it. Everybody's home, so you got to find the good in the situation. And quit worrying about what other people think. Quit worrying about what the governments tell you, or this, and just do what's right, and take care of yourself, and keep moving forward.
Dude, I love it. You're right. I've been doing this couch to 5K thing. So I got to week 4 yesterday, and at my my some back and neck issues, but I'm doing it, and I just said, I don't have any reason not to do this. And I'm getting there, and I'm seeing the neighbors, but I'm seeing more people outside, and as I go by, it's a firm smile, hello neighbor, whatever, because the world's not coming to an end. We're going to come out stronger because of this. And anything you and I, Todd, we talked about things we've gone through in our life. Ultimately, you hit them head on, and you get through something tough, it makes you stronger and better.
That's it.
And I think as we conclude, I was going to tell you, I appreciate you, man. And I really want folks to know Perimeter Roofing. I can't recommend them highly enough. Todd's the CEO. He's got a great ownership and leadership team, and it's perimeterroofing.com that can get to Facebook, Instagram, all that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, my friend. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I sure appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. I enjoyed it. Thanks for having
Awesome.
me.
We'll have the show up soon, and I'm going to close this out. This is another Community Connections special guest, Todd Price, CEO of Perimeter Roofing, and we'll see you again, folks, next time. Thank you.